All right, guys. My apologies for getting on later today, but this one is going to be a little bit of a longer stream. I'm probably not going to be able to check in with the chat as much as I'd like, so I'm going to be just kind of going over. I basically been spending like the last several hours kind of going out, or I'm sorry, going over a lot of these different coins and whatnot. So what I'm going to be doing is, if you look in the description below, I've got the 35 privacy coins, and I was kind of going through and basically I've got them all loaded up. I have them all in order in terms of the market capitalization, and I kind of wanted to go through each one of them and start kind of going through some of the different nuances with all the different coins and give you guys a little bit of my perspective on them. And we'll just take a look a little bit at the market in terms of what we're seeing with everything as it stands right now. I think that there's been a lot of discussion that 2018 is going to be the year of the privacy coin. There's a lot of, we're already starting to see a lot more regulatory authorities kind of getting into the crypto space and trying to figure out how they're going to be, regulating some of these different markets. And that's going to be pushing a lot of investors that have kind of been in cryptocurrency for a little while into this space of privacy coins. And this was a quote I just wanted to pull up by John McAfee. He's saying here, I've been inundated by people asking my recommendations on cryptocurrencies. If you would use your heads and you would figure out that privacy coins, anonymous transactions, have the greatest future, coins like Monero, Verge, or Zcash cannot lose. So I went through and I didn't see any kind of any videos or anything really that was kind of going over all of the coins that were out there. And so I basically went through and tried to get every single one that I could find. And I put them in a big list, and there was about 35 of them. So there's 5 that are billion-dollar market cap coins. There are 14 that are between $1 billion and $100 million market cap. And then there's another 16 that are smaller than 100 million in terms of their market capitalization. And so I'm going to go through them, kind of one by one, and kind of go through, some of what I'm kind of seeing in the market, some of the market history, where you can buy some, where you can trade them, and whatnot. I think if you're looking at the cryptocurrency market space as it is right now, I think that you could potentially do a lot better by investing in privacy coins, investing in those 35 coins that I'm going to be listing, as opposed to putting money into a lending platform. So the lending platforms were a big trend in 2017. You saw a lot of people that were incentivized to promote platforms that were influencing people to get into these lending platforms. And I think that what we've seen is that a lot of those have not panned out very well. Most of them have been defunct and whatnot. And I think that there's just a lot more opportunity, at least in 2018, in terms of investing in the privacy coins. So I'm going to go ahead and start going through these. So we're going to start with the largest one right now, which is Dash. Now Dash has been around a little while. We can take a look that it was first listed on CoinMarketCap back in February of 2014. It has kind of fluctuated in terms of its BTC price, and then right around February, once we started to see the markets really take off in 2017, you saw a huge surge with its Bitcoin price, and we're seeing a little bit of a plateau here. And then over the course of 2017, after we saw that surge in the springtime, it has really kind of held its value, and we've seen the price go up, but the price going up was more a kind of a due to Bitcoin's price going up, and that is kind of where we're seeing this coin right now. So this is one that's being traded very heavily in a lot of different markets. There's a lot of market distribution currently. HitBTC is the #1 market it's trading. You're seeing it traded in Yobit, and Bitfinex, Huobi, Binance, BitHum, Bitfinex. I mean, there's a lot of discrepancies in price. So when you get into some of these, billion-dollar market cap coins, there's a lot of arbitrage opportunity between the different markets. And so you're seeing a trade in other markets at about 900, and some of these smaller exchanges, at around $1,000. There's a few other ones where you can pick it up in the $700, price point. And so Dash is going to be one that's going to be, is going to be around for a long time. And so I see that as right now is I think a good time to get in. Just over the last, you can see it's kind of the price has kind of come down a little bit here, but that's kind of more due to Bitcoin's price coming down. And that's kind of where we're seeing that market right now. Taking a look at Monero, Monero has taken off here just in the last month or so. We're kind of seeing that it's really starting to progress up and trending up. And this is one, if we're taking a look at where it's being traded again, HitBTC, Bitfinex, Poloniex, BitHum, Binance, Bittrex, Livecoin. So a lot of market distribution. The price has remained relatively steady, so right in the $330 range. This one does not have the same types of arbitrage opportunity. It's been one that's been around quite a bit, and it's really for the longest time, like I wasn't really that interested in Monero in terms of getting into it as a trader because of that, we weren't. It's been a very consistent coin. It's very conservative. It doesn't have a lot of fluctuations in the price with kind of what we've seen in the market, and so that's I think this is more of one you want to get in. You want to get into Monero, and you just really want to hold. And so that's kind of where I see the market with Monero. The next biggest coin in terms of market capitalization is going to be Zcash. It's about $1.5 billion, and Zcash has taken off. Started out here back in 2016, October 2016. Started really high, kind of crashed down. Was really kind of flat in terms of where it was being traded in the market, and really has been fairly consistent. It really hasn't taken off a whole lot, but you're seeing right here since November, volumes have really started to pick up. Now the prices haven't really reflected that too much, but what we're seeing is that the overall market is this is a coin I think is going to do pretty well in terms of it's right now the third largest privacy coin. It doesn't get the same attention as Dash or Monero, and so I think that is one that I'm very interested in. Let's take a look at where it's trading in terms of the markets. You can pick this one up in HitBTC, BitHum, Huobi, Bitfinex, Binance, Bittrex. So a lot of opportunity to pick it up on the different exchanges. This one is also one that's trading in the $500 range in some of the Korean markets and a few others, but for the most part, it's kind of been holding the $450 to $500 price point. And so moving on, we're going to take a look at Verge. Verge is one that has really been heavily promoted by John McAfee. So that's one that I think is recently pumped, and you can kind of see that right here in the market. It's just exploded since basically December 11th. The price wasn't even at a penny, and now it came up as high as about 22 cents or so, and has just recently kind of come back down. So a lot of volume, kind of erratic volume in the market. And we've seen the price come up quite a bit, and we're seeing a kind of little bit of a progressive, a little bit of a pullback in the market. Volumes have diminished a little bit, but it's really holding here. And so this is again going to be one that's going to be good to get into. 1.3 billion in terms of its market cap, primarily traded in Bittrex, Upbit, and Binance. And so I see this as as another really good one to get into. Then this one, Bytecoin. Now Bytecoin's been around a long time. This is one of the kind of original coins, back in 2013 when it had hit the market. It's been around for quite a long time as a humongous supply. So there's that you have to kind of take some of that into consideration. Some of those, like the coins with a large circulating supply, have done pretty well recently. I mean, you're seeing right now Stellar Lumens has really been taken off There was a huge trend in December with Ripple. Some of these coins with a large circulating supply and fast transaction times have done pretty well. But it had a huge pump here in kind of mid-May, early June timeframe. Prices had really come up, and then you saw it really kind of, kind of plateau, coming down, retracting a little bit, and then just here, I'll take a look at just, this last month here or so, we saw it starting to progress up a little bit. We saw a big bump in volume right on January 5th to January 7th, and prices really had popped up, and now we're seeing it, kind of plateau back out again. This one is not as, quite as widespread in terms of its market distribution. HitBTC, Poloniex is primarily where it's being traded. About 85% of, well, actually it's about more like 88% of the volume right now is in HitBTC. And so those are your $5 billion market cap coins. And so if you're looking at kind of, maybe portfolio distribution or whatnot, these are going to be some of the coins that are going to have a little bit more of an stability in terms of long-term growth, in my opinion. These ones are not. These are going to be a little bit more conservative as opposed to some of the coins that are still below like $100 million market cap or whatnot. So so that's kind of where I'm seeing those top coins. I'm going to get into a few of the other coins here in a little bit. Let me just check in with the chat here for a few minutes. Yeah, I'm sure I'm probably missing a few coins. So right now, these are the the coins that I'm kind of going through. So if I'm missing a few coins, be sure to kind of leave that in the comments below if you're seeing this video after the live stream. But this is just kind of a my list right here. Video might be better on the other side. It's covering the charts. Oh, okay. Thanks for that, Joey Rocket. Let's see if I can move this up here. See, that's probably a little bit better. Clover, why are you always live when I'm drunk as shit? Transcodium, okay. See, Zcoin. Yeah, there's a couple I'm probably missing. Transcodium and Zcoin. Token Pay. Alrighty. So I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to go into the next coin. So now this Hshare was one that I've kind of mentioned. Kind of reacts a little bit differently in the market. It tends to, like when the entire market's kind of tanking, or in kind of these like off time periods in like a Tuesday or Wednesday time frame, you see it kind of pump in the market a little bit, which is kind of an interesting trend to see. Taking a look at the market here, it's primarily being traded in Binance, CoinNest, Huobi. So if you're an American, which is probably about 50% of my audience, take a mental note of some of these exchanges that you're able to pick these up in. So you're seeing, Bittrex, Poloniex, Binance, and a few other exchanges are good opportunities to get into a few of these coins. But these are going to be ones that I think are going to be really good to get into, finding a good exchange. When I start getting into some of the smaller market coins, those are a little bit harder because they're not as widely distributed in terms of the different exchanges that you can get into them on. So, but Hshare has a pretty large market cap, and so that's an interesting element that we're seeing here. 800 million in terms of its market capitalization. Lately, this is kind of more of a reflection of Bitcoin's price because the prices have kind of been progressively trending down, and the volumes are still remaining high, and so that's in terms of its market distribution. It looks like a good one. Let's move on to Electroneum. Electroneum has has kind of been, new in terms of, coming onto the market here. So it's been primarily, seeing trading volume in December and January. I apologize for the noise. Kurt just kind of came in here. Right here since January 5th, January 6th, we're seeing the price, it looks like it had almost doubled. And, it's kind of remaining, and it's kind of keeping that plateau in its price. And so that's kind of, a good pricing trend that I'm seeing right here, that it's holding its price even as volumes are diminishing a little bit. Only being traded in Cryptopia, so that's a little bit of, can be a little bit difficult in terms of, getting into it. Cryptopia is a little bit of a smaller exchange, and it's only being traded on one exchange, and so that one, unfortunately, kind of makes it a little bit of a challenge, I guess you could say. Komodo, next one here. Looking in to Komodo. Komodo's been one that I've been really interested in. I've been seeing some people on my social have been talking about it quite a bit. It's had different times, kind of in the June time frame. We were seeing pricing really come up quite a bit, and now it kind of leveled out, and so you're kind of seeing a trend line, just a progressive trend line coming up, and so that's a healthy indicator in terms of its market, and we're seeing volume starting to really come up here in the last month or so. So back December 21st, December 22nd, saw volumes really increase, and it's kind of holding that plateau in price. In terms of getting into it in the market, this one is a little bit better in terms of where you're able to pick it up. Binance and Bittrex, again Cryptopia up bit. So there's HitBTC, Coin Exchange, a little bit more opportunity to get into this one. I think this one's going to be a very good trending coin. PIVX, this is one that just kind of recently came up here as it just got added to some of the different markets. So PIVX was primarily only able to be traded in Bittrex for the longest time. This coin's been around for the majority of 2016, 2017, and it's had different times where it's really kind of been pumped in the market. But the volume has really only been in Bittrex until just recently. We saw it added to Upbit and in Binance, and now we're seeing the trading volume is a little bit more dispersed in terms of the markets and whatnot, and what we're seeing here. And so really trading pretty heavily in Korea, 41%, and so that's a very healthy indicator. And so I see this as a really good one to get into. Taking a look at ZClassic, this was a fork of the Zcash privacy coin, and so this was the only one that I know of in terms of privacy coins that had forked, and so this is kind of an interesting trend. It's something to kind of take a look at. It doesn't quite have the same market cap. It's about 1/4 of the price of Zcash, and it's really taken off here. Just December 24th. We were seeing prices were about $8 or so, and currently we're seeing prices at $148. So this is why, like, when I'm looking at these privacy coins and looking at some of the opportunities in terms of comparing this to like something like a lending platform or whatnot, there's a lot more opportunity in these markets in what I'm seeing right now. Taking a look at just the last month or so of trading, thank you. We're seeing that really came up December 29th, December 30th. We started to see volumes really increase, and that's when you kind of saw the market take off a little bit. Bittrex, Cryptopia, Coin Exchange is where you can kind of pick this up. Primarily, most of the volume is in Bittrex. Moving on to Aeon. This one is market. Let's take a look at the market here. Binance, Ether Delta, KuCoin. So there's a couple different places you can pick this up. Most of the volume right now, about 70-75%, we're seeing in Binance. I've kind of had some issues with Ether Delta. It's not really the most intuitive exchange platform to transact on, but you're seeing a lot of this is being traded with Ethereum, which is kind of interesting. 378 million in terms of its market cap, and it's currently at about a little under $5. Taking a look at Enigma. Enigma at $4, market cap at about 313 million. And again, like you're seeing a lot of these privacy coins just in late December, early January have really started to do well and take off. And I think this is going to be a trend that we're going to see throughout 2018. If you're wanting to pick this coin up, we're looking at Binance, Bittrex, Upbit, and OKEX, which has been a big exchange that we've seen that's really done pretty well lately. Most of the trading volume right now is in Binance at about 60% or so. So interesting to see that. Moving along, we've got Particle. This is $35 in terms of its price right now. Again, we're seeing a little bit of a price coming up here in the last month or so. You can see that the Bitcoin price was fairly high, back in kind of the July timeframe, and it's kind of progressively been coming down. I think there wasn't a whole lot of opportunities to get into this coin. Right now, Bittrex, Upbit, I think probably being added to Upbit has given it a little bit more market liquidity, so it's given more opportunity to get into this coin. And so that's kind of an interesting trend. I'm getting more and more Vietnamese coming in here, so I apologize for the noise, guys. Moving along, we've got Maidsafecoin. Now, Maidsafe has been around a long time, primarily being traded in Poloniex, Bittrex. You're seeing it right now trading the heaviest in HitBTC. I saw it just added to Upbit, Livecoin. So there's some market distribution here, but primarily we're seeing the volumes in HitBTC, which is interesting to see. Hasn't quite hit $1, but again, this is a pretty large market cap in terms of 308 million, and so that's again a fairly good coin to get into. It has some market history, and it's been doing fairly well. Looking at Zcoin. Zcoin has been around quite a bit. 2016, market. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta move. I'm moving outside. Bear with me one sec. Oh, give me a little minute breather here. All right, give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna grab my stuff. Alrighty, guys, my apologies. A huge group just came in, and they just started getting louder and louder. So it's still a little bit loud out here. So Zcoin, move this out here a little bit. Zcoin, about $73. This one you're able to pick up in Binance and Bittrex. Interesting, I haven't seen this AEX market, but that's primarily where we're seeing the volume right now. Let's taking a look at the market here. It's had some different plateaus in price that we've seen, different times. It's kind of fluctuated in the market quite a bit, but if we're looking right here in terms of the volume, we're seeing that the volume has really started to increase here just in the past month or so. Let's take a look at this. In the last month here, just kind of early December, kind of mid-December, we started to really see it climb, and it's plateaued right at, roughly, that, $60, $70 price point. Volumes have diminished a little bit, but it's still maintaining its price, which is a good, healthy indicator. Taking a look at DigitalNote, XDN. This one has been around since 2014. It's been on the market quite a bit. It's currently at about 3 cents. And this one is one that we've seen do pretty well here in the last month, as we've seen a huge surge in volume back on January 6th, January 7th. It really shot up. It's corrected a little bit and has come back down. And we're seeing, in terms of markets, again, this is one that you can pick up in Bittrex, Upbit, Hits BTC. So these kind of mid-market coins, these ones that are kind of in between, we're seeing a lot of the privacy coins kind of at that $300 million market cap right now. There's quite a few of them that are right at that price point. So 237 million in terms of its market. So moving on to the next one, NAV Coin. NAV Coin is $2.75. The market has really kind of picked up here in the last, kind of November, December timeframe. We saw it come up quite a bit in September, plateaued in price a little bit, and now has really started to see a little bit more of kind of heavy volumes at times. So you're kind of seeing these spikes in volume, and but it's kind of progressively trending up. Looking at the markets where you're able to pick this up, Binance, Bittrex, Poloniex, Upbit. So has a lot of these coins. I really like these mid-market coins because of the ability to kind of get into a lot of the different exchanges. That's stabilizing the price. Like you can see this one right here. It's $2.75 pretty much in every single exchange. There's only about a penny difference. If you're trying to pick this up, not a whole lot of arbitrage opportunity. But a lot of price stability, and this is going to be a good hold in where I'm kind of looking at 171 in terms of its market cap. Moving on to ZenCash, we're seeing ZenCash at $123 million market cap. You're seeing it progress up a little bit, and it's been doing pretty well here in the last 2 months or so. You can see that saw a huge surge in volume October 19th, and it's kind of been at that price point right here in January. So if you're trying to pick this up, Bittrex, Upbit, Cryptopia. So you have a few different options. I'm seeing Bittrex and Cryptopia as the two primary options, and 85% of the volume right now is in Bittrex. CloakCoin, this is one I've talked quite a bit about. This one is is just under that $100 million market cap. So this one at about $83 million. It's it's been doing pretty well. It's kind of had some erratic pricing here as of late. Able to pick this up in Bittrex, Upbit, Livecoin, and Cryptopia. So there's some interesting here. Let's take a look at Zcoin, because that was one I missed. Oops. So this one, $1.2 billion in terms of its market cap. You can see here in the last, really was kind of doing pretty well in the summer. Last summer, kind of May, June time frame. Volumes really kind of diminished and fell off, and you saw it really kind of, correct, and it's really been pretty quiet for a while. And then we saw, just a recent boom here. In terms of the market, we're seeing it traded in Upbit, Bittrex, Poloniex, and Hits BTC. So again, there's opportunity to get into this coin, and so it's looking like a pretty good one. Let me take a little break here to check in with the chat. Let's see where the chat goes. I imagine people are there just honking their horns because they love it. Everyone's honking their horns all the time. They're always kind of like, there's so many motorbikes and everything, they're always kind of like alerting people to letting know where they're at. So, yeah, it's it's you know, it's a interesting, you know, much different than the States, I guess you could say. Clover, you should do a live stream on a local bus. Lots of noise pollution in Southeast Asia. Yeah, Clover is internet cursed, either bad signal and no background, or great signal and lots of noise. Electrocoin also has some privacy features. Yeah, I'm going to get into that in just a sec. All right, so let's move on. To these next coins. So these are going to be your smaller market coins. These are going to be a little bit higher risk. These are the coins that have the potential to either be extremely profitable or maybe fall off a little bit. And you saw some of that trends with some of the mid-market coins. You saw, you know, maybe if they'd been around quite a bit, you saw them really kind of, you know, maybe diminish in terms of their price until like November, December timeframe, and then you know, we saw kind of this another big pump, you know, in the cryptocurrency market as a whole, where Bitcoin had kind of risen to the 20,000 price point, and we saw, you know, the alt currency market really follow that as well. So these ones I'd be a little bit more cautious with, but again, like these ones are great. Like if you can, there's 16 of these coins that I'm going to go over, and I think that there's you know, if you can put in, you know, just a little bit into all of them, I think that's going to be a good strategy. And so if you're looking at, these ones are going to be a little bit harder, you know, to pick up in the market. We're going to see here, this Aeon coin is primarily traded in Bittrex. Hit BTC is another opportunity to pick this one up. And in terms of its market, you know, we're seeing here, you know, it's been around quite a while. We saw a huge jump in its price after it kind of been pretty quiet. And then in the summer of 2016, we saw it really jump up, and again it kind of, you know, came down, diminished a little bit, and then, you know, slowly has kind of been rising. We saw here just recently, you know, a big pump in the October time frame, and again in kind of late December, early January. So 75 million in terms of its market cap, so a little bit smaller. Next one, so I'm doing all of these in order. I was able to kind of like go through and just, so these are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So this one is the next one, SpectraCoin, 71 million, currently at about 350 in terms of its price. It's been around since, you know, earlier in this year in 2017, January is kind of when it had hit the market here in CoinMarketCap. And saw a little bit of a rise in kind of the July timeframe, and you know, it's has come down a little bit here, and it's kind of had some erratic pricing kind of in the summer, July, August, September timeframe. Kind of quieted down a little bit, and then again you're kind of seeing a lot of these privacy coins, you know, kind of in the December timeframe have really started to take off. So this one saw a lot of volume come in the kind of in around the New Year's timeframe, very, very late December, early January, kind of peaking on January 2nd or so at about $6, and so it's come down. It's about halved in price or so.